Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you are new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds in 3 years. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, make sure you click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, you can join me most weekdays where I go live on YouTube around 4 p.m. Central Time, or outside of the YouTube live streams, you can consider joining the Discord I created. There is a link for that down in the description below. Also, if you're interested in getting some ideas of the meals that we've been enjoying since we started eating this way, we've created a Pinterest board, and that Pinterest board has a lot of our family's favorite whole food plant-based recipes there. Today is day 793, only 1 week away from 800 days. That's wild. So 793 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. I've used a combination of extended fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet to lose over 235 pounds so far. I'm on the home stretch of my challenge. I'm down to less than 10 months to go. I have about 60 pounds to lose, and I'm excited to get the weight off throughout the year here and then live the rest of my life at a healthy weight. If anybody has any non-scale victories, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I love hearing about those as well. Are you started on your diet? It's the new year. Is it did you start your resolutions? Have you decided to focus on your diet and your health, and how are those things going? If you're struggling to get started, you're struggling to succeed, what are some things that you feel like are getting in your way? And what are some things that you can do that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Let's go ahead and switch over to the main screen here. Hello. I hope everybody had a wonderful New Year's weekend. It was very fun to hang out with the family, and the kids are kind of at a good age where they get excited about staying up till midnight. It's kind of fun for them. And so it was a lot of fun hanging out with the family this weekend and doing some things for the New Year's. Let's see a few comments here. Cindy and Janet, hello. Rick, hello. Pretty Girl's mom. Another Mega Veggie Chili Monday. I'm not sure it is a Mega Veggie Chili Monday, Carrie says here. She is cutting veggies for our Mega Veggie Monday. Mega Veggie Chili Monday. Janet here says that she's been prepping all morning and she just got finished. Yes, making time to make your own food and getting things prepped makes a huge difference overall with succeeding with your diet. Hey, Christy, hello. I don't know what kind of photos I took over the weekend of food, but we'll go ahead and talk about food here first. I did go live on Friday. I did not hit the right button there. So let me see if I took very many food photos since Friday. Oh yes, Friday's dinner. I ate so much food Friday night. Oh man, I stuffed myself. So if you guys have been following along, last week I had surgery on my right distal bicep tendon. It is kind of it's not a difficult surgery, but it takes, I had to be put under anesthesia to have this surgery done. And I had some problems with digestion on Thursday that I kind of was attributing to the anesthesia and the pain medicine that I had been taking. So I actually didn't take any pain medicine Friday at all during the day. And then I'd actually gone into work. And I think that part of the reason I was able to manage that and not have as much pain in my arm is because when I had the surgery, they did a nerve block that kind of made it so I couldn't feel anything from my shoulder down. And uh, it it took, the nerve block completely, I mean, deadens your hand. You can't move your fingers. You can't feel anything. And then that slowly wears off. And so I was able to use my fingers and stuff on Friday, but I don't feel like in hindsight now that the nerve block had completely worn off at that point. But I was very nervous about eating anything on Friday because it was just really uncomfortable having the hiccups all day Thursday. And so when I got home Friday evening, I was very hungry. So I ate a lot of food Friday afternoon. So we're going to go ahead and look at what we had for dinner here. And let's see, pull this up if I can find the right thing. This one here. There we go. So there is my dinner on Friday night. This was leftovers of the white bean and polenta that I rave about. I love this recipe. I know this past weekend there was a bunch of questions on the Discord about the recipe. I believe Carrie got it shared on the Discord. This really is one of my go-to recipes that if I'm looking for something to eat, that this is what I recommend that we have. So this has been a staple of our diet, and I had a bunch of leftovers on Friday, kind of right when I got home from work. And then for dinner, I guess this was my lunch, even though it was a very late lunch. But then for dinner on Friday, we had a big salad. And I say this a lot. Cindy here, real quick, I'm going to interrupt. This says she had a non-scale victory. The scale has been stuck for 2 weeks, but she's lost inches. She got to button the top button of her work you got the top button to work on your skinny jeans. Sorry, I had to read it for a second. That's amazing. That's really awesome that you're seeing that difference and you're feeling that difference. And that's something that I definitely held on to a lot throughout the year that I kind of felt like I was in limbo here, but is how much better I'm feeling in the clothing that I have. And the shirt I'm wearing today is ridiculous how big this shirt is. Carrie gave me a hard time, but I was like, I'm not going to see anybody and it's comfortable. So, but it's like, this is a shirt that I would wear when I was at my heaviest and it would cover me up. So it looks pretty ridiculous on me today, but that's awesome that you were able to button the top button on your skinny jeans. It takes time for things to move around and go where you want it to go. So that's awesome. Let's see. Janet here says that she had savory oats for lunch and she loved it. That's good to hear. I really like having the savory oats. It's something that I've taken from that Chef AJ book, or that's kind of where I first started hearing about the vegetables for breakfast, and I like it. It's good. So Carrie is saying that the polenta that we had is one of the easiest recipes to make. And it as long as you have the ingredients, it's easy to put together. And like I said, it really tastes good. Even when she's felt like it wasn't prepared right or something wrong about it, I still enjoy it. But then after that, like I said, dinner Friday was this big salad, something that I've become or been able to get myself accustomed to now is that I have not been putting any dressings on my salads. This salad here, you can see those little brown spots. That is mushroom, like a marinated mushroom that Carrie had cooked up that, adds a bunch of flavor to the salad itself. And I really enjoy eating a salad without dressing. I never would imagine that I'd be sitting in front of a microphone saying that I enjoy eating salad without dressing, but I do. It really slows down how fast I eat the salad, and I definitely feel extremely full after I eat a salad like that. So that was dinner on Friday evening. I'm going to try to skip through photos here. Saturday morning, this is our savory oats for breakfast. So this was, is our standard kind of breakfast food that we have. And then let me see. I got a bunch of random photos here. I'm going to try to see what they even are of. Let's see here. So then dinner, let's see. So I must not have taken food photos much on Saturday. So we actually had quite a bit of this over the weekend. It's something that I kind of ask for um, from Carrie every now and then. And it is just brown rice noodles and a marinara sauce that Carrie made from scratch. And this to me is like a comfort meal, just a big bowl of brown rice noodles, and I really enjoy having it. It was something that we had for a couple meals throughout the weekend here. This was our actual lunch yesterday. And then a meal Carrie made up for dinner last night that this is something we have also had a couple times recently. This is stewed chickpeas. This is a very good recipe. I really enjoy it. There's a bunch of rice mixed in there. This is kind of some photos of it. Oh, this is breakfast this morning. So I don't have any great photos of it mixed up, but the stewed chickpeas is really really good. And yeah, it was Carrie saying there's some dates in the stewed chickpeas. Yes, it was much sweeter than I expected it to be, but I really enjoyed that for dinner last night. And then this morning we didn't actually have our savory oats. We had a fruit mix for our oatmeal this morning with bananas and apples in it there. And so that was breakfast this morning. Carrie here is asking, did anybody else stock up on the California balsamics after watching Chef AJ this weekend? She's excited to use the Italian one on the marinated mushrooms that we like to have in our salads. So, and Pretty Girl's mom says that she has not had the Italian one, but she does love many of the others of the California balsamic. Yeah, I think Carrie said that the balsamic guy was on Chef AJ's show like twice this weekend, so it was enough for to get her to go buy some. And then Rick says yes, he's been using the California balsamics for about a year now. Yeah, we had gotten a couple samples of it when we the first time I was on Chef AJ's show back in May, I guess, and so we really liked what we had gotten at the time, but we did not get the Italian. So Christy says the Italian is great. So we'll have to give the California balsamic vinegars a shot and see how they are. And Janet says he's going to be in Sacramento. You're going to be visiting. That's great. So you'll be able to check that out. So, and having access to these kinds of things like the California balsamic really helps to stay, it helps make the diet, it helps give the diet variety, which will help kind of keep you on the diet, and you won't get bored or get worn out with the same foods. Let's see here. Rick says that he likes the fig and the espresso. Carrie's got her own New Year's resolution this year. She's probably gonna give me a hard time about calling her out on it, but Carrie is trying to abstain from coffee for the year. That was one of the things that it wasn't, I think, so much the coffee that she was having a problem with. It was the stuff that you put in the coffee to make it drinkable. And so Carrie is trying to stay away from the coffee this year, and hopefully she's been successful on day 2 so far. So the espresso, she says, "Oh, I did not see the espresso." So Rick says, I quit coffee and tea really stinks. I was giving Carrie a hard time last night because she was drinking tea, and I was thinking the same thing. Tea really stinks. So Janet says his booth at the conference on the 15th. Okay, there's a conference that he's going to be at. That's really awesome that you'll be able to check that out and be able to see him there. So yeah, we're excited about trying the Italian flavored of the California balsamic, and it's like I said, it's just nice having like so many of these things that I never would have known about, and just having access and the knowledge and the ability to find out about them, and then how much easier it is for me to stay on my diet because those things exist. Had I tried to eat this way 20 years ago, it would have been much more difficult for me because there wouldn't have been things like that out there for. Janet here says that coffee had to go for her too because of the half and half. And Pretty Girl's mom says she's going to try the new sun-dried tomato basil that's coming out from California Balsamic, which sounds really delicious as well. I've really been enjoying a lot of the tomato flavors that we've been having recently, and it seems like they've become a bigger part of our diet, more so even in the last couple months than they were earlier on. But like something like that stewed chickpeas we had the other day has got a lot of tomato to it, and the polenta and white beans has got a canned tomato in it as well. And so it's something that we've been having a lot more tomato. Rick says oatmeal creamer is really good, and coffee is tough to quit. Yes, I'm happy that I was never addicted to coffee, or I never had a affinity for coffee, but I did drink lots of soda, and so that's where I would get my caffeine, was from drinking soda. But I never got into the coffee; was never a thing for me. So it's hard for me to know, because like I said, the soda was tough, but for me everything kind of worked out because I fasted, so it worked out to help quit everything at once. It was more of what I was going to add back in after I started. So it's 2023, and are we going to reach our goals this year? Are we going to do what we need to do to get to our goals? And I'm very excited to reach my goal this year. I have 100% confidence that I'm going to do what I have to do to get to my goal. And a big part of that, though, is knowing that it's going to take all 10 months for me to get to my goal. It's not something where at the beginning of the year, everybody gets this huge motivation to go to the gym or try to change their diet or do something for their health. And that motivation lasts for a couple days, but after a few days, that motivation starts to wane and you start to lose interest in it, and you don't end up following through with your goals, or the things become more difficult than you expected them to be. So you fall back into your old ways. And it's something where this year, for me, I am extremely excited about 2023 because it has been this build up for me for this year and a half or 2 years now. I guess it's over 2 years to get to this point. And, in hindsight, I don't know how I imagined I was going to be when I got to this point, like what is, because if you would have had me write down how this process would have gone in many of those versions, I would have reached my goal already. I had a goal at the beginning of 2022 to reach my goal weight in 2022. And I did lose 50 pounds, but I still came up short of reaching my goal weight in 2022. It was something that, it wasn't ever really a reality, like these imagined things, that the ways I thought it was going to happen didn't happen. But what did happen, I'm extremely thankful for how things have progressed and how I've learned and the knowledge that I've developed in the process in which I've done it. It's really nice to be able to be on a diet that has that longevity, that isn't just a 1 week thing or a couple week thing. It's not somebody trying to get as much money out of me as fast as they can, as quick as they can. Christy here says that you made a sun-dried tomato dressing from Monkey and Me blog. It's oil free and has a little tahini and it's good. That'd be something to check out if you're looking for a tomato dressing recipe. It sounds good. And then Barb here says she quit coffee after 50-year habit, but it was not easy, but it was worth it. Caffeine is hard to tolerate as you get older. Yes. That's awesome that you were able to kick a 50-year habit, and that's something like coffee is one of those products that has really just been considered as acceptable in society. And it's, there's the negative health benefits don't outweigh the negative health consequences don't outweigh the benefits of it. And it just, to me, I never saw the appeal in coffee. So, but I know that it's extremely tough for people to get rid of. I've had family members that are unbearable without coffee, and it didn't compute to me, but like they literally would be like, when I get up in the morning, you can't talk to me till after I have coffee. And it just seems like an awful thing to be tied to, like that your mood is affected directly by whether or not you have coffee or not. So, and fortunately, Carrie hasn't been like that, at least not to me. But we'll see how she goes as the next few days go with no coffee or no X. Yeah. So, but 2023 is a big year. I'm looking forward to the challenges that it's going to put in front of me. Yeah, Carrie says she's definitely not addicted to coffee like that. And she's never been like, if I don't have coffee, don't talk to me. That's, it's definitely not that for her, but I know people that are like that. 2023, what am I going to do to reach my goal? So I'm going to stay diligent. I'm going to stay dedicated to my diet. I'm going to stay on diet, which is, as I've progressed throughout this whole process and I've reached day 200 or 793 now, that I know that for me, it's the consistency of the diet that is going to see a consistent weight loss. And it's going to consistently get me towards my goal of 220 pounds. And it's, I watch stuff on YouTube, or I look at different things on different websites, and I see lots of people this time of year reaching out for help and reaching out for, how can I succeed when I failed in the past? Or how can I, a lot of what I see too is people trying to hold on to the success that they've already achieved as well, which I think is more important because it happens to all of us, where we see that success and we have achieved that success, but then we can't hold on to it. We can't keep a hold of it. It falls through our fingers and we gain the weight back. And it just continually, this cycle of finding some way to succeed for a short period of time and then failing and then going back to worse than we were before. And then blaming ourselves for the failure of not being able to stick to it. And in reality, it was something where it was never something that you would be able to stick with in the first place. And that it's this diet culture that we live in, that people are this calories in, calorie out method that on paper is easy to lay out, and it's easy to try to convince people of, but there's so many variables in that equation that people don't take into consideration. And the diet that we eat hugely affects that, because if you're intaking calories that are easy for your body to digest and easy for your body to absorb, then you're going to intake, your calorie in number is going to be much higher than somebody who's eating foods that still have the fiber attached to it and still has the skin on it, and is he might be taking in the same number of calories, but you're not absorbing the same number of calories. And so I see these people trying to fit into this calorie in model and say, okay, as long as I eat under 2,500 calories, or as long as I eat under 1,700 calories, I'm going to lose weight. And it just causes you to be in this position where you never eat enough food. You're always eating an inadequate amount of food. And so it really makes it difficult to understand, like to win. Like when you go into a grocery store and the average calorie density of all of the food that you have access to is at a level that is impossible to lose weight at, then it's hard to know the answer, because you see different products drawing you to them for different reasons, and then you start worrying about calories, and then you're looking at food labels, and then you're just eating the foods that are super low calorie without any consideration of the volume of food that you're eating, or you're eating foods that satisfy your pleasure need, but they don't satisfy your actual nutritional needs. Pretty Girl's mom here says the hardest part about quitting the caffeine is the headache and with the withdrawal. And Rick says that he was sick for 3 days when he quit coffee, and he really thought he was dying. He was really scared. Yes, that's can be that way, and your body is also sending these signals, when you change your diet, not just when you quit drinking coffee, but when you change your diet and you start eating foods that don't give your body those, especially like a dairy, or something that's high in sugar, or soda with the caffeine, your body doesn't want to change. And it will send lots of signals to get you to worry about it, and like the things like the headache, that's something that people run into, and with fasting, a lot of times when people, like the first couple days when you fast, people complain about headaches. Many times those headaches are caused from the withdrawals of the food that you used to eat, and the headache's not actually caused by the lack of food in your system. It's because your body's upset that there's no caffeine, or there's no sugar, or there's no salt or oil in your diet. And so yeah, Barb says she believed it took her months to cut back gradually. Yeah. And I'm sure that with any addiction, there's different ways to go about it. But if you can cut it off and get it out of your system, I feel like that's the best possible, but you have to consider your health too. And if it's something where, we're not naturally designed to be surrounded by coffee beans that we have access to, that we can make this, that coffee every day. And so, our body's not used to it when we get rid of it. And there's things about like what coffee does to our receptors too, like that was something I watched a video, or I saw something a while back about coffee doesn't actually give you energy. It just blocks the signal to your brain that you're tired. So when that coffee wears out, you were always tired. It's just that whatever part of your body tells you you're tired was blocked, so it couldn't keep telling you you're tired. And so, what you need to do, or what would probably help too, is making sure that you're getting enough rest. That's a big part of succeeding with a healthy lifestyle. Just a healthy lifestyle isn't necessarily, working out or just eating, but it's also getting enough rest and relaxation and giving yourself time to recover. But what was I on about? I was talking about 2023. This is really annoying, having this arm brace, because I want to do everything with my right arm and I can't do half the things I want to do. And so like touching my face, like I can, there you go. I touched my nose. It's not that tough, but it's, it's really annoying not being able to do some things with my right arm here. So I just really going into this year, I just want to really push that you can eat a huge volume of food and lose weight. And I am going to work as hard as I can to be living proof of that. And that the food that I'm eating is going to get me to a healthy weight, because there's nothing unhealthy about what I eat. Like that's kind of what, the old saying, you are what you eat. And if everything you eat is healthy, then eventually you'll become healthy. I guess that's kind of what I'm relying on or what I'm feeling here. So, but I'm looking forward to this next year and I'm looking forward to reaching my goals. And while the gym is an important part of being healthy, I think that what people need to understand is that having a gym membership, running to your local gym and signing up and going to the gym half hour every morning or half hour every night or 2 hours every day is going to help make you healthier, but it is not going to fix your obesity problem. Your obesity problem needs to be fixed at the dinner table. And if I can show people how to eat an abundance of food and it's not a difficult diet. I don't struggle day to day with this diet. At 793 days in, I'm not struggling to get through the day and frustrated by not being able to eat food, because I know I'm going to go home and I'm going to eat the biggest possible portions of food that I could eat. And I'm going to go to bed full. I'm going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to eat another good portion of food in the morning. I don't go to bed hungry. And if you're going to bed hungry, you can only do that for so long before your body starts to really to push you away from that. Like it's so hard to understand, how it changes, but over time, it's just your body will continue to nag at you and nag at you and nag at you until you break your diet. And then you finally break your diet, and then it goes all over the place. It could go any direction once that happens. But if you're eating a diet that is full of volume of, a huge volume of food, I don't ever worry about a binge. I don't ever worry about, because even if I had a binge, I don't think I could eat that much food. That was the problem before, is that when I would binge, I had such an empty stomach that I could eat a whole pizza. And now I couldn't fit in that much extra crap food into my diet. Cindy here says that she needs to move more for January, and you set some realistic, measurable exercise goals that you can do at home. Yes, that's great. And that's, like I said, doing exercise is important to become healthier and fitter. And it's something that I do encourage anybody to find a way to be more active. And like you said, some realistic, measurable activity, not something where it's like, I got to do it. I got to be here at this time. And if I don't do it, then then I got to double up later, or, and then don't be just be excited that you're doing it. Just make it's not that it's a chore to get done. Carrie here says that she joined a gym back in December and she wanted to dedicate a little time to movement more and give her a little bit of each time where she could focus on herself. And yeah, it's worked out nice for her. It's by our work that she's been able to do, but she has not been able to get over there over Christmas break. But she's going to be back there tomorrow, back at the gym, getting a little bit of movement going. What What time is your last meal or food before you switch off the light? Would you eat at bedtime if you are hungry? I think that that question's probably different than if you're losing weight than if you're not losing weight. But I try to switch it off early. I try to switch it off after dinner, but I'm not great at it. And so I generally eat when I'm hungry, I guess. Like I'm trying to close the kitchen down after dinner, but I find an excuse to eat late all the time, you know, or sometimes our dinner isn't till really late if we're busy with the kids. But I eat a lot. So it would, I eat when I'm hungry. That's going to be the best for me. It, but me eating when I'm hungry, like I said, especially later in the day, I believe has impacted the amount of weight that I've lost. And if I had a strict, okay, 7:30, it's closed, nothing goes in my mouth after 7:30, that I would see different results than the way I do it now. But I'm not unhappy with my current results. Cindy says I need to buy some more video games. Yes, I talked about that a couple weeks ago, that I had been I had started, I kind of had some movement in my weight loss here in the last month or so. And it's, to me, I think a big part of it has been my commitment to staying salt, oil, sugar free. But then another part of it was that I kind of picked up a hobby of, not picked up, but I like playing video games. I had not played video games for a while. And I started doing that in the afternoon. Having this thing on my arm gets in the way of me playing video games a little bit as well. Um, but yeah, having something to do at night, having a hobby, something to get your mind out of or away from food, or in my case, to just get me away from the kitchen, has been a thing. So anyways, Bev, I know it was a very long-winded answer. If you're trying to lose weight, I would recommend trying to stop eating a couple hours before you go to sleep. I'm not a great example. I'm trying to do better, and I was doing better there for a while, and then this injury kind of, I don't know. I just did not think of it. You know, I thought I had a photo of that. That's one of the things Carrie Carrie says she's not helping me because we got this Ninja Creamy thing, and so that must have been the photo that's screwed up on my phone. But she says she's not helping me by making pineapple ice cream at the end of the day. Yes, yesterday at the end of the day, I had a bunch of pineapple ice cream that Carrie made in the Ninja Creamy. I don't know how they turn frozen pineapples into that kind of texture, but it's delicious. Bev says here that Healthy Emmy says something like, if you don't eat when you are hungry, you won't stop eating when you are full. Yes, I like Healthy Emmy. I'd not heard of her until a month or so ago, and you guys keep bringing her up, and I've seen some of her videos. I really like a lot of what she's saying, and she says a lot of the same things I feel like I'm saying or getting to. But yes, that's something that I talked about a little bit, like when you're traveling, or when we had these holidays these past 2 months here, is that to go into these events full, like eat lots of food when you have food available that is on your diet, because that way, when you're stuck in a position that you don't have any food, you can rely on the food you've eaten, or at least like you said here, you won't stop eating when you're, you know, uh, when you're eating that junk food, you know. And so I think maybe I misread what you said there, but if you don't eat when you are hungry, you won't stop eating when you are full. So, um, anyways, uh, I'm excited for the next year. I'm excited to reach my goals. I'm excited to get this thing off my arm and get the rehab done. And I'm really excited about how good I feel. Like being 283.8 pounds, being down 235 pounds. I never could have comprehended how good that feels. And I it really gets me excited when I think about the difference between 283 and 250, and then 283 and 225, and 283 and 220. Like when I get to my goal weight, like me being injured has really shown me how much I have benefited from this weight loss. Because if I was 520 pounds and I was trying to do any of the things that I have to do now, like just putting my seatbelt on would be nearly would not have been possible at my heaviest weight. Without my right arm, there's no way I would have been able to put my driver's side seatbelt, like crossed my body and plugged it in to the thing. I wouldn't have hardly even been able to reach the steering column to shift the car. Just the ease of being able to put my shoes on, get myself dressed, all of those things would have just been horrible had I not started, had I not lost this weight, had I not got myself to this position. And it's crazy, the going up the steps, not having the ability to grab a handrail like I used to be able to do with, and I'm so happy that I did lose this weight and that these things are much easier. Because even though this specific thing might not have happened, something could have happened. And most likely at 520 pounds, the injuries that I was going to sustain were going to be mobility injuries. It was going to be ankle injuries. It was going to be knee injuries. It was going to be hip injuries. It was going to be things that would make it even tougher for me to get around. And so for me to have an arm injury, that's great in comparison to what could have happened. And so, yeah, and Carrie says that eating this way has certainly taught her to listen to her body more. And so, yeah, that's something that, I, there's different analogies I try to use and like try to figure out how to explain things, but like the signals that your body's sending, like when you have a pain, like I have in my arm, I have injury in my arm. And when that injury first happens, your body sends a very, strong signal that, hey, you need to, something happened here. Like when I first tore the tendon, I knew I screwed something up. And for the first day, there's a lot of pain there. But then over time, your body stops sending that same level of pain signal. It doesn't mean that the pain necessarily is any less or that the injury is any less than it was, but the signal your brain sends isn't as strong. And our body does that with our health too. And we drown it out or we ignore it, like things that we say, oh, I just have acid reflux. Well, you probably have acid reflux because you have a poor diet, and you could fix the acid reflux if you changed your diet. And your acid reflux, when you first got acid reflux, probably bugged you more when you first got it than after you've been living with it for 2 or 3 years. But when you remove the things that are causing the acid reflux, then eventually you realize that you don't have to live life with that disability or with that debilitating kind of symptom going on. And that's kind of the way this has been for me too, is that it's maybe not specifically acid reflux, but having chest pains or having fatigue or weakness or having issues that, like my sleep apnea. I had really bad sleep apnea since I was in high school, and I lived with it. And I, for a while there, I lived with it untreated till it got to a point where I wasn't going to be able to go on with life without getting it treated because I was falling asleep just doing daily tasks. So eventually I had to do something to help me. So I got a CPAP machine. Didn't fix the problem, just made the pain less. It just made it easier to survive. But now that I've been eating this way for over 2 years, it has been over a year, probably a year and a half since I've had to wear a mask to go to bed. And that is wild, but it was part of my everyday life before. It was every single thing that, every time I went on a trip, I had to make sure I had the mask. Anytime I wanted to take a nap, I needed to go where my mask was so I could take a nap. Anytime, but it was part of my daily life. It was seen as an inconvenience. Well, actually, it was seen as a lifesaver right away, but, it's a slight inconvenience, but it was making things manageable. But now that I'm removed of it, now that I don't have to worry about whether or not I have electricity to plug in a machine to go to sleep, it's extremely freeing, and it feels so good to have that little bit, and that, when, like Carrie kind of mentioned here too, is that when you're eating food, that I notice if I had something that was bad for me, and it's weird too, because it's been kind of a while for me since I've had something that was bad for me, but immediately, like if I were to eat something, I haven't even tried anything with animal products, but if I had something with oil in it, I know my body's going to react. If I have something with sodium in it, I know I'm going to start getting inflammation in my legs, and it's going to be crazy. So I missed a couple comments. Cindy says, I look great. There's nothing better than feeling great. Now I just need to donate that red shirt that is way too big for me. Carrie says it's like a tent. Pretty Girl's mom's asking if we're going camping. Yeah, putting a tent with one hand is a real visual. Yes. I suppose, Rick, goodness, we're going there. Yes, this shirt is just massive. I'll stand up just to show. My body ends here. Yeah, I bet all 4 of my kids could fit in this shirt at one time. And Rick says, I love big shirts. Yes, I've gotten by with big shirts, but yes, it is time for a new shirt. Yes, a new year, new wardrobe, right? I do have some nicer shirts. I could have worn a nice shirt today, but getting things on over this arm thing is kind of nice. Moni says it looks so comfy. Yes, it's comfy. It's like a big blanket. I am definitely swimming in it. So yeah, it definitely comfy, easy to get on. I wasn't, like I said, I didn't plan on seeing many people today. I came into work, but there really is nobody else in the office, so I wasn't too worried about it. But yes, it is. This is a shirt. This is a shirt that I would have worn at 520 pounds. So I could fit another person inside of it for sure at 235 pounds less. So, anyways, I really appreciate all you guys, checking out my video. I am excited for 2023. I hope you guys are all excited for 2023, what you're able to do, what the future holds for you. And I'm excited to reach my goals this year. Like, that's going to be the big thing. This is what I've worked for the last 793 days, and I still got a little over 200 left. So, or 200, almost just over 300 days. I have just over 300 days left. So I'm looking forward to the next 10 months and reaching my goal. So thanks again for the support and being part of this with me. You guys really make a huge difference. Carrie says that 2 of me could probably fit in here. I'm not quite the halfway, but I might be able to get a second one of me in here. That is quite possible. Cindy says, see you tomorrow. Yes, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. It is Tuesday, or tomorrow's going to be Tuesday. I don't know if I'm going to do a weigh-in this week. I just don't know if I feel like doing it. Because it's not awful, but I did gain weight, and I didn't really talk about it too, but I didn't take any pain meds on Friday, but on Saturday and Sunday, I did take pain meds again. It was something where it was just bugging me, and I didn't get the hiccups from it. So that's what my worry was, that it was going to give me the hiccups again. But so I was taking pain meds the last couple days, which I feel like might have some effect on what my body retains or things like that. I don't know what is in all the stuff that we put in there. The weight of the brace, it's very light. Like this brace is maybe half a pound. So I'm not too worried about what the weight of the brace is. And again, I'm not worried about like the weekly weigh-ins are important to keep me accountable and to keep me going and to stay on to it. Cindy says it looks like a 5-pound brace to me. It might be a 5-pound brace. You're right. There's some titanium alloys tucked into the corner there. I'm not too worried about a day-to-day or a week-to-week variation. It's about the trend. It's about getting to the goal. If I'm not under 280, or if I'm not down to about 275 by the end of this month, then we'll start talking about changes or worrying. But right now, I'm just happy that the recovery seems to be going okay, and I'm excited to seeing my doctor. I don't even think I see him for like another week, but seeing my doctor and getting the rehab going is what I'm looking forward to. So thanks everybody. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you get subscribed to the channel. If you haven't clicked on the bell icon to get alerted when I go live or post new videos, make sure you do that. If you have not clicked the thumbs up and commented down below, do that as well. And if you have not started your diet yet, get started now. There's nothing coming up. It's the new year, right? Get started now. Get rid of the stuff out of the pantry. Even if you're saying, well, I'm not going to start till next week. What are you going to do to get ready for that? Like, don't just say I'm going to do it Monday. Don't just say I'm going to do it. What are you doing to make it a reality? Start right now. Get rid of the crap out of your pantry. Go to the grocery store, buy an abundance of whole foods. Get plants and more plants. Get vegetables and fruits and legumes and all of the wonderful abundance of food that we have around us. Get rid of the processed foods. Start your diet now. I will see you guys tomorrow.